Okay, I think we're ready to get started. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Tech Tuesday. Thank you for joining us today to learn about Maryville University. Jim Winslow, Maryville's Assistant Director of Admissions, is here and will be telling us all about Maryville in just a minute. First, though, we have several people, or a few people, from Special School District joining us, and I'd like for them to introduce themselves. Ms. Bengali?
Hi, I'm Heidi Bengali. I am the Technology Specialist Instructor for both North and South Technical High Schools.
Ms. Russell?
Hi, I'm Dee Russell, and I'm the sophomore counselor at North Tech High School.
Ms. Shaughnessy?
Hello, my name is Carla Shaughnessy, and I'm one of the counselors at South Technical High School.
And I am Sally Defani, Administrator of Partnerships for Special School District. After today, we still have 7 more weeks of Tech Tuesdays. There are still a lot of partners lined up who will be coming in to share some great information with you. So we hope that you'll continue joining us in the coming weeks. You can find more information about our Tech Tuesdays on the North and South Tech websites. Okay, and we will have plenty of time for questions for Mr. Winslow after his presentation. So please think about what else you'd like to know about Maryville University and type your questions into the chat. This is your opportunity to get your questions answered. Okay, Mr. Winslow, I think we are ready for you to share your screen.
Awesome. All right, let's see if the technology works. It's great when it works the first time. Okay, can everyone see that is up?
Yes, perfect.
Awesome. Well, how's everyone doing? Definitely want to thank you guys for inviting me in and spending some time here. I have a short presentation. It's about 15 minutes, but as some of you've probably gotten to know me over years, I can be a talker. So we'll see how fast I actually go through. But yeah, definitely want to thank you guys for inviting me in on Tech Tuesday. I'm definitely excited to be here. Got some good information. I hope you guys got some good questions because hopefully I got some good answers. So we are Maryville University. I'm one of the assistant directors for admissions here. I'm finishing up my 3rd year at Maryville University. I am a St. Louis alum, born and raised here in St. Louis, went to Afton in South County, went to Missouri State, and then came back and decided that I needed to work at another great educational institution here in St. Louis, Missouri to really give back and help students. So we have a lot of great things here at Maryville, and let's dive into them. So we were founded in 1872. We are a private independent school. I know a lot of schools, especially when you're looking at private colleges, they have most of the time Catholic associations with them, but we are independent. We broke away from that around the 1950s, 1960. So yes, we are private, but we're also independent, which allows us to do great things like drop tuition 5% because we just have to answer to our board. It is really nice. So tuition just dropped for fall 20. 5%, which equated to about a $1,400 decrease, which is pretty phenomenal when you're looking at a school or any school in this matter, whether it be in the middle of a global pandemic or not. On average, private school costs can go up on anywhere 3 to 7% annually. Before our tuition was frozen the last 5 years. And our president of Maryville also has communicated that tuition will never go up here at Maryville University. So that's always exciting to announce with potential and prospective students and families. When you're looking at all enrollment numbers, we have, it's a 2-tier number that I kind of worded as. So if you go on our website, you see this big number, 10,000 plus, which is phenomenal. We have been named the 2nd fastest growing small private school in the entire United States. We're very proud of that. It is a great time to join the Saint family. But when you're looking at students who are physically on campus taking classes, it's just around 3,000. The rest of those students are from all 50 states and over 58 different countries in our online school. Our online school is very robust and is booming, and we're projecting in the next 4 years or so that we'll be at 15,000, 20,000 students for that online population, but really keep these small classes for the student who's looking for that small school feel. Excuse me. We have 4 academic colleges that make up Maryville University. We have the College of Arts and Sciences, our College of Health Professions, College of Education, and our College of Business. That equates to about 90+ degree programs. 90% of our faculty hold a PhD or other terminal degrees in their field of choice. The feeder programs, I would say, is our nursing program, which is not full yet. We just had the priority day October 15th. So if anyone is looking to do nursing, keep in mind, remember, that is a 4-year direct entry BSN program. We still have spots available for anyone that's looking to do nursing. Minimum criteria is a 3.25 GPA, 3.0 core of just math and science courses. But if you get in, you come right in, 4 years BSN. It's not like a lot of other programs where you have to do 2 years of gen eds and apply into your sophomore year. Same with our PT and OT program. Our physical therapy program is a 6.5-year direct entry doctoral program. It is phenomenal. It's cutting off a year and a half, 2 years of school, which is going to save you and or your family a lot of money. Grad school gets expensive, and unfortunately, there are limited scholarships available for grad school. Outside of the health profession programs, like our College of Education is phenomenal. Really, all of our business majors are phenomenal. We have a cybersecurity program. We have a new computer science program. We have the analytics programs that are really booming. Our College of Arts and Sciences, we have a lot of great art programs. We actually have 2 accreditations in the for the Arts and Sciences College, not just one. We have a game design program that's really been booming. One of the reasons is because we have the best esports team in the country. Yes, parents that are on this call, this live chat, you heard me right. Esports is a fancy way to say video games, and it is a new world that we live in. Our team has won 3 of the last 4 national championships when it comes to esports, and there are kids on scholarships for esports, aka video games. So it's not the college that you guys grew up in. It's a new era. But we have a very amazing and robust game design major because of that. So, you know, it's phenomenal. We have graphic design, interior design, a lot of great, phenomenal programs. And because a lot of schools, you know, they want to cut down on the funding for the fine arts, not Maryville. We actually have the Arts and Sciences, our Design and Visual Arts program, or one of the few programs here that we have scholarships specific just for those programs, because we want to encourage our students that are looking for those arts and sciences and really dive into that if that's really where your true passion lies. Also, real quick, for all of our business majors, for anyone that has a 3.25 CUME GPA, you can apply and get admitted to our early access MBA program, get your master's in 5 years instead of doing 2 years of grad school. Once again, it's going to save you and or your family a lot of money cutting off a year of grad school. Our average class size here is 15 to 20. Student-teacher ratio is 14-1. So we definitely have that small school. What I tell people about when they're looking at Maryville is that you get the best of both worlds. You get the small personalized classroom sizes, but you're also in a large metropolitan area. You're 20 minutes from downtown. So you get the best of both worlds in that your teachers are going to know who you are, but also you can go exploring and then come right back to campus. We have a phenomenal campus here, and I think it's hidden. I personally call us the hidden gem of the Midwest because there are a lot of great things here at Maryville that people just don't know about. We are Apple Distinguished School. About only 10 schools can make that claim out of over 4,000 colleges in the United States. So that is phenomenal. A couple things that go into that, we are a one-to-one school. So every full-time undergrad, first-time freshman will get a brand new iPad and Apple Pencil, and you get to keep those upon graduation. You do not turn those in. Also, too, all your books, ebooks. So I joke and say we're in the business of curing early onset back problems like myself. You play football for 15, 20 years and your back's going out. If you're not carrying around all those heavy overpriced textbooks in your backpack, then you don't have back issues. So it's pretty nice. So everything's on the iPad. But for those who still want to truly read into that textbook and get a hard copy, you can get a hard copy and just turn it back in. And you do not pay for textbooks here at Maryville University. You don't have to worry about that. Also, too, we have a lot of digital signage. We're reducing our carbon footprint, also reducing our waste here at Maryville and trying to really be recognized as more of a green school. So there are a lot of great initiatives that's going on right now as part of the Maryville family. We do not require anyone to live on campus. I tell all of my students, yes, I would want my students to live on campus at least for that first year, but at the same time, being realistic that not everyone has the same financial resources, and each family, it's a case-by-case basis when you're looking at finances. About 70% of an incoming class on average will choose to stay on campus. If you do not stay on campus, you know, that's more than okay. Quick plug for my commuter students that are not staying on campus. Commuter Connection is the organization you want to be a part of if you are commuting here. It's the one-stop shop to get ingratiated with everything. We have 3 living arrangements options here on campus for our incoming freshman students, and we also have apartment buildings for our upperclassmen. Mouton is the traditional community style. So you have a communal bathroom in the hallway. I was also a resident assistant in a community style, my alma mater. So it's really nice. I don't like cleaning now. My wife's a stress cleaner, so sometimes I like to stress her out and then leave the house because I know she'll clean. But it's really nice when you have that community style. One, because if you're a bigger guy like me or you're just a foodie, Then, you get the lowest cost dorm, but then you get the highest cost meal plan. So you can eat a lot. So you definitely have different ways of going about it. We also have a Starbucks on campus, and you can use your dining dollars at Starbucks. I know mom and dad, don't call me. I have plenty of moms emailing me, can you cut her card off at Starbucks? I cannot. So some days, Jen has to decide, is it going to be chicken fingers or a Frappuccino? But some days you can't have both. But they are phenomenal. At community style, you really have a different feel to it. The doors are really always open because you got to leave your room a lot. I met my best friend. I was an RA. For students who are not familiar with that terminology, that means a resident assistant. So another little golden nuggets, I tell people, I'm in the business of giving out free information, is whether you want to keep it or not. Resident assistant. If you are a resident assistant at most institutions, you get a free room and board and free meal plan. So those are great resources when you're trying to look at saving money if you're trying to stay on campus. So RA is, one of those nuggets we want to make sure we retain from this presentation. Potter used to be a courtyard by Marriott Hotel. We converted it into a residence hall. Saints Hall right now is probably, the crown jewel. Everyone wants to be in Saints just because it's the newest. That's all, but because it's the newest, as you can see, it's the most expensive. That's kind of like a Jack and Jill setup. So you have one roommate and then two other suite mates that you share the bathroom with. So the bathroom's in the middle. So you have a room in the left, room on the right, the bathroom's in the middle. They're double locked on the inside. So when you're in there, you still get your privacy, and your scan card only works for your size. So if you're in 101A, you can't go from the outside and scan it to 101B. So we definitely take safety and security very serious here at Maryville University. Also, the apartments are for upperclassmen. Those are full size, 2-bed, 2-bath, 4-bed, 2-bath apartments, and they're similarly priced to Saints. Another big benefit when you're looking at Saints Hall is that we have, the technology in there. We're just looking at the laundry. Like I said, we're in the business of making students convenient with technology. And sometimes you guys get a little bit spoiled, get a little bit lazy, but that's okay. It beats when my elevator broke on my dorm when I was on the 10th floor having to drag laundry to the basement. We have an app, and you guys can roll out of bed, look at the app, and see how many washers and dryers are available before you get out of bed. Also a great state-of-the-art workout facility in the basement of Saints as well. So always tons of options and convenience for our students. We really have to meet you guys where you are. You are adventurous, you're exciting, you're mobile, you're on the go. So really the more things we can do, because everyone wants you to come to their school. That's why they have people like me out competing for you guys, because you guys are wonderful students. So we definitely try to make sure we stay up to date with things to really get you guys here on campus. We have 100+ student organizations here. So like I tell people, even though we're small, we pack a big punch at the same time. We have, academic groups, clubs, sports, cultural, social awareness, spiritual organizations, whatever it may be, there's options here for everyone. I had a kid I recruited from Colorado who just started a boxing club last year. So, there's tons of options available for students. On an average non-COVID year, we have over 3,000 events a year. Most of those events, you're going to find either free swag like t-shirts and things, or free food, sometimes both. So we know how to get people out. And especially for our local students here in the St. Louis area, and even our commuter students, we always tell students, bring your friends out there in the area. We encourage people to come to campus to really see this vibrant and lively campus that we really have here at Maryville. One of my favorite clubs is probably, we have a Muggle Quidditch team for any of my Harry Potter fans. I am a sci-fi nerd. I'm unapologetic. I have Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings posters up, and we have a Quidditch team for any of my Harry Potter fans. So there's nothing funnier than watching college students play Muggle Quidditch. I promise you, it is entertaining. And then we also have a hammock club, my kind of club as well. I can just lay out in the tree, relax, take a nap. So there's definitely something here for everyone when you guys are really looking at trying to be a part of the Saint family. We are NCAA Division II. We have all major sports with the exception of football, but we do have rugby. We also have women's rugby as well. So my ladies on here a little bit scrappy, want to let some, let that physicality out. We got you covered also. And we also have a women's hockey team. Maryville University, for admissions purposes, does not require standardized testing. So no ACT, no SAT is required for Maryville University for admission purposes. We've been that way for almost the past decade. However, if you're looking at playing any of the NCAA Division II sports, then there are standardized test score requirements, but that is a NCAA requirement, not a Maryville requirement. So you're looking at just admissions, no standardized test scores required. You never have to send the score. So what I tell my students when they ask me my personal opinion, I tell them, if you think it is a good representation of who you are as a student, send it. If you don't, then don't send it. Easiest Sunday morning. One of the things I'm probably most proud of here at Maryville working here is our career success rate. That 97% tells you short and sweet, our students are marketable, they're in demand, and they're employed, they're getting jobs. That career success rate is about 16, 17% above the national average. So when you're looking at universities and schools, you want to know, what can this school do for you? And Maryville, we put it out there. We have a lot going for you as the student. A couple quick golden nuggets that I was referring to a little bit earlier that you guys want to look at as you're looking at schools: career placement rates, retention rates, graduation rates. These are the numbers, the three quick little ratios and percentages that can really tell you how a university is doing at any one given time. So it really gives you a great indication of how the schools are doing. You want those numbers to be as close to 100 as possible. And that really gives you insight into how that university is thriving. Here's just a snapshot of some of our strategic partners here. You see we have Apple up there. Rollins is actually right next door to us, their headquarters. Our sports business management program is actually sponsored by Rollins. It is phenomenal. We have a lot of students that are doing with that program that's gone on to work with the Cardinals and the St. Louis Blues or the Kansas City Royals. They've gone overseas for study abroad opportunities, and they've worked with, in Europe, Manchester United, Man City, Liverpool, $3-4 billion football clubs, as they call it, or soccer clubs, as we call it here stateside. So there's tons of opportunities looking at there. My education majors, we have a lot of opportunities for you guys with a lot of amazing school districts when it's looking at doing your student teaching. Health professions, we have partnerships with all the major metropolitan area hospitals when it comes down to those clinicals and those rotations. So you can see here, there are a lot of opportunities here for everyone. And that's the beauty of Maryville. All right. I know what you're thinking, Jim, you buttered us up. How much is it going to cost? We got to talk about cost. So as I previously stated to start the presentation, our tuition dropped about 5% this year, which equated to about a $1,400 decrease. The really nice thing about that is that the families didn't know they were getting bills in August. And we're like, oh, by the way, your bill just dropped $1,400. So talk about a great way to start off the COVID school year, right? But full-time tuition is $24,766. Fees are $2,400. Now, if you're commuting and you're not staying on campus, that gets you $27,166. I know what you're thinking. It is a lot. I'm not trying to sugarcoat it and say it's not a lot, but what you really want to do, especially when you apply apples to apples, when you're looking at private schools, we're actually on the lower end cost for private institutions. In my opinion, too, we also have a very robust scholarship program that I'll run through. If you are staying on campus, on average, you're looking at about 37. Now, these are automatic scholarship system. All you guys are great scholars, so you know what automatic means. It's exactly what it sounds like. If you have a 3.5, or because we're test optional, you see that or in there, a 27 ACT or 1290 SAT, any one of those three will qualify you for that $14,000. Now, I'll go back for a sec. For my students that are thinking about commuting, you instantly have half of your tuition and fees covered automatically before anyone that's Pell Grant eligible or anything like that. So it really takes it to, I can't afford private school, to, maybe we can figure this out and make it work financially, which is the goal of our automatic scholarship system. Even if you look at that 37,000 and factor that in, that gets you down to 23,000, which that puts you in line with state school pricing. So it makes us competitive. And that was the goal, to make it accessible, affordable, and competitive when we're looking at it. And that's the goal here at Maryville. That is our plan. All three of these scholarships are renewable for up to 5 years of undergrad. 2.5 GPA, Maryville GPA is all you need to renew that every year, and those will renew automatically. So that's fall and spring consecutive semesters, not including summer. So, if you're on that 5th year, that super senior lap, like some of us are, because we're having too much fun in college, like I was one of those kids, 5 years of undergrad, that, you don't lose that scholarship because you work at a little bit slower pace than others. So I always try to tell students, just get up and compete with yourself in the mirror. Don't try to worry about what your peers are doing, because everyone's phenomenal in their own way. And that's really what you guys want to make sure you're focusing on. For the competitive scholarships, we have our presidential and our trustee scholarship, 3.75 minimum criteria, 27 ACT, 1290 SAT. For any of my seniors that are on here, priority dates are December 1st. So we have about a month to get accepted and get your things in if you want to compete for these competitive scholarships. Also, as you're reading that multicultural scholarship definition, you'll notice there is no race component to the multicultural program, because we understand that Maryville, being multicultural, it is a mindset, it is a way of life, it is not what you look like. Our Office of Diversity and Inclusion has done a phenomenal job developing that program. We have students from all ethnic, races, creeds, religions backgrounds in that program. It is a phenomenal program for anyone that's interested in that. Definitely make sure that you look into that. Also too, a lot of great accessible opportunities for, some of our African-American students, the Dr. Donald Suggs Scholarship, as well as the Martin T. Lombardi Scholarship. So we do have opportunities as well for our underrepresented students also. The Tomorrow's Innovative Scholarship is a scholarship specifically local to St. Louis metropolitan area students. Definitely want to make sure you check that out. And you guys know I was doing a little harping earlier about our design and visual arts program. So those DVA scholarship, you can get up to $5,000 for your e-portfolio. So, if you got that 3.5, you got 14,000, you're an amazing designer, you send in your portfolio, get another 4,000 or 5,000. Now you're at $18,000, $19,000, and that's before any other grants. So definitely want to encourage you, if you're looking at those fine arts, we have phenomenal programs. Come talk to us, come visit our labs, come really check out about what it's about. First robotics scholarships that are available to students. And we also have the Army for Army ROTC scholarships available for anyone that's interested in that. Last but not least, how to apply. You can go to maryville.edu/apply. We're on the Common App and the Coalition app. And we do not charge any application fees. I just joke and tell all my students only lame schools charge application fees. We want you, so I'm not going to charge you for filling out an application to come talk to us. Also, I will leave my contact up here if anyone wants to scan here, have a virtual tour. We are offering tours on a limited capacity to follow in line with the COVID and the St. Louis County CDC guidelines. So you can go to our website, maryville.edu/visit, see if there's any availability for tours. Also take down my contact information. More than happy and love talking with students. And I will open it up for questions.
Okay, thank you very much. A lot of great information. Ms. Shaughnessy, are there any questions in the chat?
No, I'm not seeing any in the chat, but I did have a question. I was wondering what supports do you have for incoming freshmen, seeing that a lot of those statistics show that a quarter of our population does not complete college and does not complete their freshman year. So what kind of supports and counseling services, maybe mentorship programs do you have available for incoming freshmen?
Great question. One of the things that we do, and let me, I'll take down my screen share. There we go. So one of the things that we have here at Maryville University is that how most schools have the traditional academic advisor setup, we have what's called life coaches. The life coach is kind of a blend between, the traditional academic advisor role and the college high school guidance counselor put into one. The best thing about that is that the best way I can explain it, we're proactive, not reactive. So we're going to look for those early indicators. We invest a lot into our students. We have do like Clifton Strength Finders, if anyone familiar with the Clifton model, so they can get their top 5 strengths. We do it for new hires and employees, faculty, staff members, as well as students. My number one strength was competitive. I could have told anyone that I lose to my grandma on checkers, we're playing again until I win. But what was cool is that the Clifton model, my second strength was strategic. My third strength was futuristic. And it kind of gave me some personal reflection looking back, because when I was in college or high school, I had to be the leader of the group and I had to see the big picture before I can work on it. So having those Clifton strength and those college inventory study skills that we give them to take, and we'll assess that and create a profile for them, it gives their life coach insight to them. So if they know, if I did that as a student and they see, oh, Jim, he feels he's high achieving, he's very responsible, but I can tell he is very unlikely to ask for help. So my life coach, knowing that I'm too proud to ask for help, will occasionally just send me an email like, hey, how's everything going? Just in case, here are the hours to the writing center. Here's the tutoring center, however it may be. So I really think that life coach model is a game changer, because it allows students to use them as much as needed. And some students don't use them at all, but we're definitely there for everyone that needs it. But as I stated, as I started off this long soliloquy, is that I would say we're proactive and not reactive. And that's what you're going to find here at Maryville University. And we're very authentic about that.
Okay, you mentioned the direct admit nursing program, and you're still accepting applications. So if a student has not gotten his or her application in yet, they can go ahead and still do that.
Yeah, so the
correct?
priority, great question, Sally. So the priority decision date was October 15th. All that meant was that we were taking all the applications and we didn't release any decisions until the 15th. We are rolling admissions, so we will take applications up until August when school starts. But however, as I stated, the program is not full yet. So when a student gets accepted, they have to pay their enrollment deposit. which everyone has to pay an enrollment deposit eventually. That enrollment deposit is $250, but that secures their seat in the program until they decide they want to give it up and go somewhere else. What's unique to us is that we make it refundable until May 1st. So they have all of their senior year to kind of look at other things. If a student gets a full ride and shoots me an email, I'm not going to talk a student out of a full ride. Best of luck. I am happy for you. You go to where you got that full ride at. But having, that security of having that is great. Once the program gets full, we will have that wait list that we place students on the wait list, and they'll operate throughout the year. Now, we don't communicate the number of the students on the wait list because every year varies and every freshman class is different. I've seen years where we've gone, 50, 60, 70 deep in the wait list. And I've seen years where a student has been number 4 and never come off. So with that, we don't want students making a decision based off of where they are because each senior class is different and is very volatile. But yes, we are not full as of today. So if anyone's getting their applications in, they can. Then for all my counselors on here, due to COVID, we are taking email transcript from the counselors to use those for evaluation purposes. We will need the officials mailed in, but for admission purposes, we are taking email transcript from the counselors because we understand the mail and everything has slowed due to COVID.
Can you speak a little bit about academic preparation, high school classes, and foreign language requirements for admissions?
So our admission requirements, just the state of Missouri graduating requirements, so that they meet the criteria to graduate from their respective high school and accredited high school here in the state of Missouri, then they'll meet the requirements for us. Minimum is only a 2.5 GPA, but as we looked over those scholarship opportunities, I tell my students, you want to make sure you kick butt with that GPA because you want to maximize your financial ability. And if you recall from that slide, going from a 2.7 is only $9,000, whereas having that 3.5, that's 14. That's $24,000 over a 4-year span that could be made up in a different from scholarship versus additional 24 in loans.
Mm-hmm.
Jim, the A+ program is just so attractive to so many high school students. So what advice do you have for students who choose to start their college career at the community college and then look to transfer to a university like Maryville?
I would tell that student that, and it probably isn't fair, but I would tell them to just kind of make sure they have a better plan mapped out than the freshmen that are coming into college. And the reason I say that is because you want to know credit transferring is the biggest thing that dictates with transfer students. I actually am the only counselor here at Maryville that works with both freshman students and transfer students. I work with all of the transfer students for our College of Business. So any transfer student that's coming to Maryville, they're going to come through me. And so being able to articulate that credit to let them understand, how your credit's going to come in, it really makes a big difference when they're deciding if I'm going to go to UMSU or SLU or Mizzou or Truman or wherever it may be. They want to know how those credits come in. One thing that we do different here at Maryville is that if a student even if they go for a year, if they go to community college or 2-year college for that first year, as long as they're at 30 credit hours or less of college credit, we still allow them to be eligible for the freshman scholarships. So I have a lot of students though, they'll just go for that year because they're not ready, and we'll just base the scholarship on that slide that we went over for the freshman levels. They still qualify for that. Also too, I tell people, just look at the finances, because I've seen kids due to the freshman scholarships versus the transfer. And just to back up a little bit, just for whatever reason, since the dawn of higher ed, transfer money is significantly less than freshman money, no matter what institution you're looking at. I wish it wasn't that way, especially working with transfer students, but it is. And so because of that, I just tell students, map out the numbers. Here at Maryville, we're the admissions, the assistant director like myself, I'm a one-stop shop. I come in, I work with you, I'll admit you, I walk you through your financial aid packages, your award letters, and really look at the numbers and just not look at that sticker price, because you can really get an indicator to where if you're going to spend more money here in 2 years than 4 years, then is A+ really the better option? And that's what it really comes down to. Also with those health professions, I tell students, make sure that's not what they want to do, because you can't transfer into those programs. Those are freshman direct entry. Now we do have a fast track nursing program for students that I see a lot of students that will do the 2 years, complete the associates. And as long as they have the requirements, they can apply to that fast track program, which is a 2-year program, and they still get the BSN. But that program is just as competitive, if not more, than the freshman program.
So it would make sense if a student has an interest in eventually attending Maryville, but they're considering the community college, it would make sense for them to reach out to you now and at least have a conversation.
Yeah,
about both
I would
options?
say absolutely, Sally. The best benefit they'll get is after they have been accepted and got an award letter. And for whatever reason, I've noticed students have this misconception that once they get accepted and they have deposit somewhere, they're committed to whatever institution it may be. You students, I got admitted into over 75 different colleges when I was in high school. Anyone that sent me a letter, I applied. I went to my counselor and said, hey, you got a fee waiver? Cool, I'm applying. My athletic ability definitely helped with that process along the way, but I filled out the FAFSA so many times wrong. My mom didn't know what she was doing. I was in the office, the whole financial aid office. They're like, Winslow's back. They start calling me by my last name. But really, to get the most benefit of those conversations is the point to where you're accepting after you have a financial aid package. So we can sit down and really walk you through, okay, here's that free money, your grants and loans, and then here, your grants and scholarships, your free money and grants and scholarships, and then here's your loan money. So you really can break down what you're getting into to understand, okay, if I come here and I do this right away, and also too, that's when we get to that tough question of commuting versus living on campus. That's a $10,000 to $13,000 difference per year. And so those are another tough conversation where everyone wants to quote, and I hate this term, the traditional college experience, but college isn't traditional anymore. You know, COVID threw that out the window. Also too, they did a national study and now the average undergrad students graduating in 6 years instead of 4.2. So whoever has that, that traditional mindset or whatever, it's non-traditional because everyone is very untraditional in the sense that we all have our own paths. You know, it took my uncle 22 years to get a bachelor's degree, but he did it. And so that's really when you're looking at it, what they really want to do. So you really want to understand your own path and needs and wants and just come in and have those conversations and lay those things out. And you should do that at every school and don't just limit your option. This is what I tell my students. Everything I said about Maryville, I have a saying, say it sounds great, but you need to investigate it and confirm everything I told you is really true. But you can't compare that without looking at other institutions. So I encourage students, go look at large schools, look at small schools, look at in-state, out-of-state, because I guarantee all of them, most of the time you're gonna come back and tell me, you know what, Maryville really is this phenomenal and this much better, but I want you to do your own research so you can come to that conclusion and don't just take Mr. Winslow's word for it, although my word is a good word.
You know, also, are you allowing and conducting on-campus tours for prospective students at this time?
Yes. So we are doing limited tours. They're still just to stay in line with the CDC St. Louis County guidelines, but we are doing tours Monday through Saturday right now. And then we're also in the next couple of weeks, I guess breaking news, we have some live virtual tools that'll be coming out soon. We just enhanced another new platform that we're buying. So you'll literally have a live tour guide walking you through the voice of a live virtual tour. So there are a lot of other things that are getting ready to come here in the next couple of weeks. We also have our weekly series of, they go to maryville.edu/visit, where we have everything different week. We have every Tuesday and Wednesday, we have a Maryville series running. And on our online platform, last week we had a Q&A with some of our students. It was hilarious. And they did a Buffalo hot wing challenge. And they tasted all the sauces from Buffalo Wild Wings and answered a tough question each time. The theory being as you know, you get the hot, their guard gets let down and they open up a little bit more. Our president of the university, he's done already 2 live sessions with parents. And I just don't know many leaders of institutions that are really putting themselves that vulnerable and inviting, 100, 200 parents to just open forum, whatever you guys want to ask. And so we really are trying to make the most out of this virtual format.
Okay, does anyone have any other questions? Okay, well, Mr. Winslow, you were wonderful. We appreciate you joining us very much today. And hopefully some of the students who participated will be reaching out, okay?
No problem at all. I said, feel free to share my contact information with any and everyone.
We will. All right, thank you very much.
Take care.
Take care.
Thank you so much.